When you're playing video games, will your experience in the game affect your life outside of the game? Will it affect your time with all your friends, with your academics? Will it affect your work life? Will it affect how you handle relationships? That is what we're going to prove. Jane McGonigal asserts that playing video games makes people more optimistic, more confident, and have better critical thinking skills.
Urgent optimism is the desire to act immediately to tackle an obstacle, combined with the belief that we have a reasonable hope of success. Gamers always believe that an epic win is possible and that it's always worth trying, and trying now, when we're playing a game, that we're actually happier working hard than we are relaxing or hanging out. We know that we are optimized as human beings to do hard and meaningful work, and gamers are willing to work hard all the time if they're given the right work.
McGonigal argues that players take their in-game experience with them into real life, affecting their behavior with their friends and in the world around them.
I'm a really casual gamer. I like to play sports games as well as RPGs are my top two. I've been playing the most recently is Super Mario Strikers, which is the Mario Soccer.
Well, right now it's primarily Team Fortress 2 and Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Yeah, shooters, real-time strategy, and then Han and Dota, those are like, they're different. They don't really have a genre yet.
Jane McGonigal says that players take agency from the characters they choose to use in games.
I mean, when you're playing, the point of having a character to have a character helps you, because when you play, you feel like you're them, but when you're out, I feel.
Well, in Super Mario Strikers, I usually like to play as Boo, which is a stereotypical ghost. The reason why I like to play as Boo is because he doesn't just score goals in the conventional way as most of the other players do. He, he's really good at, getting around obstacles and just taking the ball right at him. He'll either find a way around or he'll just pull the unexpected and zip right through somebody. And I feel like in real life, I can bring some of those traits sometimes. I feel like if there's some obstacle or something challenging ahead, I'll try to find ways to beat the system without actually taking on the obstacle in the conventional way.
Jane McGonigal says there are lasting emotions attached to the outcome of games.
Like most of the time I'm playing to procrastinate or something, and then when I'm done I feel like I've accomplished something, even though it really isn't anything, and I feel like I'm able to work.
Sometimes when it's like a really close game, it's really intense, then it gets a little like taxing.
If I'm just playing a game, on my own, if I'm doing really well and it's a really easy game, I'll feel like I had fun, but I won't be like too affected by it because it was not very much of a challenge. If I play like a really challenging game and I'm losing, then I might feel upset. I feel like I've got to keep playing, or I've got to go back and play. And it'll be on my mind. I'll be like throughout the day I'll think, oh, I can't wait to get another chance at that game. Or if I'm playing a really challenging game and I come out on top and I win, I feel like the more challenging it was, the more of an achievement it is, and the more prouder I am of it. And I really have get in a really good mood when I accomplish something in a game.
McGonigal describes something she refers to as an epic win. When a player doesn't think they can succeed in a scenario, however they do, and they pass remarkably based on some series of luck and skill. And she argues that players gain intense feelings of accomplishment and confidence because of this.
Okay, so in Battlefield, when you're in the water swimming, when you actually have to swim and not wade, you can't use any of your guns. So I was in that situation and I was close to shore, but an enemy team member saw me and he was shooting at me and I was getting hit. He wasn't like, totally bad, missing. So it was kind of a tense moment. And I was recon, so I had a sniper rifle. So, and I did not think about taking out my pistol. Even when I got able to shoot, I had my rifle out first, and it would take time to take out my pistol. So right when I was able to walk or take my gun out, I just shot wildly, since I had a sliver of health left, and because I had a sniper rifle, it was probably impossible for me to hit him, and yet I did, and he wasn't even that close. So I felt that was really long no scopes on highlight reels. Yeah.
Oh, there's this one game on that was like, I think it was more than an hour and a half. Like, our lineup wasn't like really made out that well, and we didn't have any carries, but I don't know, we played really well, but we didn't end the game early enough. So since the other team had carries, they basically in the beginning of the game, carries they don't have that much power, but later on in the game they have like late game items, and they start like dominating damage and stuff. So like we were playing for like an hour and a half, and I don't know, we ended up winning, and it didn't seem like any team really made that many mistakes too, but it was just like a pretty solid game. It was an hour and a half, and it wasn't like I don't know, it's hard to explain.
There was one particular epic win in the Mario Strikers.
Okay.
I was playing with my roommate David. We were on the same team, and we've been playing this, tournament mode, where you try to win the trophy. And we had been playing this game for a long time, and this is really challenging because if you lose the playoffs, you have to start the entire tournament over. There's no going back, and it's like 15 games, which can be kind of long. So, and we finally, barely pulled off this victory one night, and we were so excited to finally get it over with and to finally accomplish that goal. I remember we were like screaming and yelling. I was jumping on top of the couch. David was on top of the kitchen counter. Then after that, we were so exhausted from celebrating, we just crashed and went to bed after that. And we didn't play the game for so long because we had so much satisfaction and fulfillment just from that one moment.
We've seen epic wins in games. Now, do they transfer into the real world?
Freshman year of college, I would oversleep and miss my classes a lot. Mm-hmm. And one day, I woke up and it was like an 8 a.m. class or something. I woke up, and I didn't feel like going to class, but I did go anyway. And it happened to be that was the day of a midterm, and I had no idea. I showed up pretty late. I ended up getting out, like one of the first people to get out, and then I ended up getting a pretty good grade. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't studied before, I had no idea, that's why I woke up so late and didn't feel like going to class, but I ended up going through some sort of gut feeling, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Well, the most recent epic win, in my opinion, I've had was I took a midterm in physical chemistry. I got the test back to look at it, and I realized all I did was I put an equation I thought would be helpful, and I moved on, and that equation earned me 15 out of the 20 points just from writing it. It was mostly variables, I didn't even fill in the numbers. And I realized, that was like an example of how, if you think of something that might be useful to the problem and you're going to skip it anyway, just write down what you can think of. Because that, if I wouldn't have written down anything, if I would have said just, nothing is going to be helpful here and moved on, mm-hmm. I would have gotten below average.
So do games have a lasting effect on their players?
Not really. I think it kind of depends. Like, I guess when you play against other people, mm-hmm. maybe a little bit more. I see a lot of people rage over like Halo games.
If it's challenging, if I'm in a challenging situation, I'll feel, my heart will start racing, and I'll start to get really excited and anxious, and if I'm losing, then I might start getting upset. But it's all because I feel so engaged in games when I play them.
I can say that pretty well. I mean, it doesn't change who I am. It's just a game.
Based on these interviews, our participants revealed a lack of correlation between any real experience or game experience. While some gamers may credit video games for bringing back positive attributes into their real life. Our findings show that this is not true for all gamers. Due to the discrepancy between different players' gaming experiences and the impacts on real life, our findings are ultimately inconclusive. We cannot say either way that video games do or do not have a positive aspect on real life experiences.